What's up, Carolina fans? You're listening to the Carolina Sports Update on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. We've got quite a bit to talk about, even with college football kind of winding down now. We can start looking forward to a little bit more college basketball. The Carolina college sports team is getting into the heart of ACC action now. And then we've got plenty of pro sports still going on. Carolina Panthers continue to lose, but they also continue to be entertaining. So we'll check in on them and see how things are going. All that, a whole lot more after a couple words from our sponsors. Stick around.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, welcome back, everybody. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about the Carolina Panthers, how we're looking, how we're doing. Another close. I don't think it's a heartbreaking loss this time, but man, it sure was close. Sure was a hard fight. Nobody gave Carolina a chance going into this matchup against Philly at Philly. I was pretty sure myself that there was no way these guys were going to be able to kind of keep up with the Eagles. But man, the defense as of late has come on really strong. I think I saw in the last over the last 4 games, Carolina, the Panthers are number 2 in sacks per game. It's at like 4.5 sacks per game. A lot of that I think can be attributed to DJ Wonnum coming off injury list and getting into it. And the more he gets into it, the more he picks up. Robinson has really been a strong presence up the middle. And the line has looked really good as of late. And then the secondary too, I think has been doing a lot better than even last year. A great job covering down on a lot of receivers, kind of giving the opportunity, giving a little bit extra time for some of those coverage sacks to kick in. So I think all in all, a better defensive performance from the Panthers as of late. And I think that was really on display pretty good in this in Philadelphia, where they're able to hold Jalen Hurts and the Eagles to only 22 points. I mean, that's sounds like a feeling like, you don't want defense giving up 22 points, but given the offense that Philly is running, that they have, that's and the way Carolina started the season, I think it was giving up 45 to the Saints. That's actually pretty decent. That's pretty good. So looking a lot better from them on that front. And then you throw in on top of that, just like the overall significantly improved play from Bryce Young, really starting to look more and more comfortable every game with his in the pocket, stepping up when he needs to step up and stick in the pocket, kind of popping out where he needs to pop out. The offensive line is giving him a chance, and it's really starting to come together, starting to click, which I've said before, I wasn't on the Bryce Young train to begin with. I'm still kind of holding my breath, waiting to see how this thing turns out. I'm still a little concerned for him as far as height, weight, size considerations, how he's going fare through the course of the next several seasons, how durable he's going to be for the team. So I'll kind of see how it goes. But the play he's exhibiting right now is amazing. He's made some really clutch throws. Had that one kind of, it wasn't ticky-tack. It was absolutely called for, but one forward pass forward of the line. Sorry, blanking on words. But had that one forward pass that really wasn't that got called back. So that was a little tick-tack in the pressure at the moment, but then came right back in the very next play. Great pass. I think it was to Thielen. Keep that last drive going. I think that, to me, that makes it 3 games in a row now where I feel like Bryce Young has led a game-winning drive. This one obviously kind of stalled out and wasn't able to be finished off. I think several drops from Xavier Legette. We mentioned it last week, and we mentioned it the week before that. Some drops from him, which you don't want to see, but I want to say expect from a rookie, but you hope that it's kind of that rookie wide receiver, still developing situation there, that he improves his hands. I know when Curtis Samuel came in as a rookie, he had a similar issue where he was getting good passes, but just not able to really hold on to him from Cam Newton, who's probably like freaking rifle to him. But he in the off season went out and like purchased himself a jugs machine, and just every day got in front of the jugs machine and worked on his hands, worked on his catching. And Curtis Samuel came back and was a phenomenal receiver. It's situational receiver, really, in my opinion. Became a real third down machine for the Panthers. Like when they needed that go-to receiver on third down, that was Curtis Samuel for you. And so hopefully, Leggett kind of similar situation where he can get out there in the offseason, really work on that. We know he's got the ability. We know, he's got the hands for it. I think it's just a matter of like getting it settled down, getting used to Bryce Young's throws, and then like I said, just kind of getting settled into it, and understanding what he needs to do to haul those passes in, and not kind of lose himself in the moment, and get kind of overcome by that moment. But that drive, stalling out, didn't make it. But then last week, I think it was, where I felt like Bryce Young had 2 game-winning drives. It almost seemed like, but both times defense kind of gave it up, and allowed the other team to come back and kind of score the actual game winner. So Bryce Young really has been very clutch these last 3 games. Previous 2 games, Tampa and Kansas City, while great battles, Tampa going into overtime, Kansas City took it down the wire. They needed a last second time expiring field goal to win that game. If you look at kind of the metrics, I think on like PFF, those types of sites, you see that like their secondaries are not exactly. I think they're towards the bottom half of the league there. But if you look at Philly, definitely one of the tougher defenses, top of the league, like top 5 in the league there. And Bryce Young still, I think, performed really well, handled things well, took the pressure, and handled that in stride. Again, over the last 4 games, I think he ranks like number 2 or 3 in success rate while being blitzed. So again, he's really coming on strong and really showing that he can be a very strong quarterback for his team. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, still personally I have concerns about that size and that durability there, but hey, if he can last out there, who knows? We may actually have a quarterback for the future, a franchise quarterback in Carolina. I know we on my other podcast, I did after the first game of the season, did a way too early overreactionary draft and looked at Cam Ward as kind of a knee-jerk reaction. Even then, I didn't feel like it was time to start looking at quarterbacks. And even when Bryce Young was benched, I didn't think it was time to start looking at quarterbacks. I had a feeling that the team was still going to stick with him and bring him back one way or another next season. I didn't think he'd be coming back this season so soon, but I thought he was going to be coming back next season. They have one more year to see how he adjusted, how he took the sit down, put some extra players around him, build the defense up a little stronger, a little deeper through draft, have another offseason to pick up some more offseason talent, maybe a veteran, number 1 caliber type of wide receiver, and then see how Bryce Young did next year. And we'll still, I think, see how Bryce Young will do next year. But if this year's any indication with the receivers he's got now, I think we got a pretty good chance that he's going to perform pretty well next year. And so I can see him probably sticking around for a while. We'll see how it goes. On, downside from this game, it looked like almost a non-contact, very weird turn for rookie running back Jonathan Brooks. re-tore his ACL, same ACL that he tore in college, tore in this game. He will be out obviously for the rest of the season. And then, to be perfectly honest, if you look at how the time they took to bring him back from last year, I think his tear was in the August time frame. He didn't come back until this November. If you put a similar time frame on it, 14 months or so, you're looking at him missing all of next season as well. So probably may not see our second round running back until 2026. And that really sucks because the little glimpses we got of him from like last game especially, but even the first game, those little glimpses really showed that he can be a very dynamic, very shifty and kind of elusive running back out of the backfield. Kind of a really nice compliment to Hubbard's like no nonsense kind of plow forward, pick up yardage after contact, really almost bowling ball type of mentality. And then you throw in Brooks's like shake and bake type of running style, and you're like, hey, that's a good duo right there. So, but unfortunately now that's probably not going to be something we see until 2026, which, like I said, that just sucks. That blows. But and then following up from this game, we're looking next week, this Sunday, the 15th, will be the Dallas Cowboys visiting Charlotte again. They visited last year. I got my first Panthers football game in person. Was the Cowboys game last year. It was a lot, despite the loss. Even last year's was still pretty fun. I got to take my boys. It's a good time. I thought the stadium was pretty nice. I know a lot of people have been calling for upgrades. I know there is a big upgrade package on the way. I think it'll look really nice after that. I don't see why they didn't do some kind of retractable roof thing there, but should be a good game this year. Cowboys really struggling. Had a terrible night last night against the Bengals. Chance to, again, kind of win it, but kind of flubbed up the block punt opportunity and ended up costing them that game. So I think the way Carolina has been playing, the mentality they've been playing with, I think they've got a good opportunity here to take advantage, get a win against the Cowboys, and then maybe sneak in one or two more against Arizona, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay, I think is how we close out this season. So looking forward to this home stretch coming up here and see how the Panthers do going forward. Might end up in the season, who knows? Maybe 4, 5, 6 wins? 6 wins? Is that possible? Man, I would hope so. I joked with someone earlier today. The Panthers are playing it perfectly right now. Bryce Young's playing well. He's playing calm, in control, and with a lot of confidence, hitting his receivers. They're making plays. They're keeping games close. They're challenging literally the top teams in the league, Kansas, Philly, keeping the games tight, have the opportunity to win it, but they're not. They're losing it and keeping their draft position. So it's what you want to see right when you're in the middle of a rebuild, that hey, there is a light, there is talent, there is the ability to play and hang tough with hang with the best teams, but still in the middle of that rebuild, and still got a couple more pieces to lay in, a couple more bricks to put down. So we'll see how it goes to close out this year and see how we do this offseason. We'll be sure to keep a close eye on that. So following up from that, we had still a lot more great hockey action with the Carolina Hurricanes. Unfortunately, not so great in terms of getting the wins that you would hope that they would get, but still, sorry folks, I can't multitask. Not getting quite the wins that you would hope they could get, but they are playing tough. We're still seeing some of the things that I think I've talked about before, looking at how they've, man, I am like all over the place tonight. I am not doing this well. There we go. How's that? All right. Um, we had talked about before, when this team's on and they're scoring and they're hitting that 4-goal mark, they're typically winning their games. You saw but when they don't, like this last game against the New York Islanders, 3 goals, they didn't get the win. New York scored 4, 3 of them coming, I think, late in the second period. Carolina got up early on that one. They were up 2-1. And then New York came back, scored their 3 goals, made it 4-2. Carolina got one more goal in there, but not able to complete the comeback. And without, like I said, without those 4 goals, really not able to finish off the game and get the win. But then prior to that, playing the Colorado Avalanche, got 5 goals, and there you go, had the win. Sorry, that's not their next game. That's terrible editing on my part. Not able to, or they were able to get that win against against Colorado Avalanche. So looking at that, it's looking more and more. It's going to be on the offense. They're we talked before. Their goalie is out for the season, or out indefinitely, anyways. So that's really, I think, kind of leading to their struggles with not being able to get the wins that they want without the higher scoring games, without the 4-goal games. But and try to find some help there at goalie, and maybe start looking on the market, or hopefully their goalie returns from injury and they can get a little bit more help back in there and kind of get the defensive support that they need and get back onto a winning track. They've only won 1 of their last 5. That's dropped them now. They're still 3rd in their division standings, so they're not out of it. They had such a strong start that you could kind of take a little bump like this, but they really need to start looking into what is going to help get them turned around on defense, because again, they're giving up a lot of goals right now. They are 11th in the league. They're giving up almost 3 goals a game. Now they score, a little over 3 goals, a little less than 4 goals per game, but I think that's also due in large part to how they started the season. Their last several games, it's been 3, there's the 5, then 2, then nothing, then 3. So again, you see those numbers and you see the L's come out too. So hopefully they can start turning this stuff around and get back to lining up some W's. Keep that net on the other end lit, and keep their own net quiet. So yeah, hey, thanks Taryn. Appreciate the shout out there. It was a long day for those of you who saw in what was it, my first episode. I mentioned the fact that I'm in the military, I'm in the Navy, and if you track any of the real world stuff, break away from the sports, you know that there's a lot going on in the world right now. And we at work, we were definitely busy with getting caught up from the weekend's events, but we're back here now. Kind of had a good day getting back at it. So getting back ahead and able to get home tonight and get back into the swing of things. All right. Let's talk a little Charlotte Hornets now. They finally logged a win, 113-109 over the Indianapolis Pacers. That snaps an 8-game skid, but still kind of came down there. 4-point game there. Played tight. They've been, excuse me. Oh man, they've been a little bit up and down, but still trying to battle it. Ball's still not back yet. Led in this last game primarily by Brandon Miller. He had terrific dunk here. Got the basket and the foul. And then, those late free throws, man, my speech, like I've always, growing up since a kid, I've always had the dangest time trying to say that. I usually just say foul shots, but free throws, down clutch there at the end to help the Hornets secure their first win in 9 games, and kind of get back into that column. So hopefully they can continue that. Their next game is at Chicago on this Friday, the 13th. You would expect, maybe hopefully if you're a Charlotte fan, hoping that you get a little Freaky Friday the 13th action going on here. Chicago, overwhelming favorite to win this one. They are, which I don't know why they're 10-15, which, sure, that's better record than the Hornets, but that's what Indiana was. So maybe a little bit of some Freaky Friday the 13th action going on here this weekend, and we can see the Hornets kind of upset or pull off the win against Chicago, get back-to-back wins here, and start heading down the right path with that. So I think that kind of about wraps it up for our pro sports update. Kind of a quick run through on that, and we will get into some college sports here in a second. But first, I'm going to hook you up with a couple of our other shows where you can tune in and listen to them.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Make sure you check those guys out. Just like I said, we got Panthers just got done playing Philly, so you can tune into Philly Sports Radio and find out all about the other side of the ball in that game. And then SoCal Sports. I was stationed in San Diego. My wife is from LA, so SoCal definitely holds a great, very warm spot in my heart. I really loved my time living out there, and I had a great time doing that. So just make sure you tune into them and all our different channels on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. All right, let's kick it off real quick with UNC Tar Heel football news. So the biggest news for UNC right now is Coach Bill Belichick has interviewed for the UNC head football coach, and it seems like every day there's new and more interesting / weird momentum growing that he could actually end up being the coach of the Carolina Tar Heels. I am personally pretty conflicted on that. You can take into consideration the fact that he is a very good coach. I think I personally think he was definitely aided a little bit by Brady in that relationship. You kind of look at what happened after they parted ways, and if you just look straight at results, I think you would kind of come to the conclusion that other than that relationship, Belichick probably got more out of Brady than Brady got out of Belichick. Now, I'm not saying Belichick's not a great coach, really good coach, but I think he needs to really hit on especially a quarterback and be able to hit there, and then from there kind of build out the rest of the team, be able to get the right talent in the door like everybody does. But we'll see how that would work out for him. I have my concerns about him dealing with college players. So again, part of my job, where I work right now is the U.S. Special Operations Command in Tampa. We were very lucky last year to actually have Bill Belichick come and talk to the command. It was via video conference. He called in. We all had the ability to get into the video call, listen to him talk. We got to submit questions and hear his replies after listening for about half an hour, 45 minutes on like his philosophy, how he handled things, his leadership style, and what he did with the Patriots. And tell you what, it was a really, really good opportunity, really fascinating talk from him. But one of the questions that he got, which it totally made sense, was given how long he's coached, how or if he's changed the way he approaches players now compared to how he used to, given the way you've got kind of a newer mentality, younger players now, a different mentality in a lot of people's opinions about how young this new generation of young players kind of approach the game, how they approach life, what kind of feedback support mechanisms they like to receive as opposed to players 10 or 15 years ago. It's a different situation. Like I see it in my own life, like the feedback and support I like to receive is a lot different than feedback and support I think 25, 28-year-olds that I work with now like to receive. And it's one of the challenges I face personally. I think that's why this question was asked. And the answer from Belichick was surprising, but not surprising when you really consider it, who the source is. But his answer was, in essence, it's not my job to motivate them. It's not my job to give them, make this a place where they want to come in every day. That's their job. That's up to them. And that's their drive that has to bring them in. He goes, I've got too many players. I got, the team is too large. There are too many other coaches, assistants. There's the ownership. There's everything else going on around the team that I worry about and I coordinate, that I can't, try to sit down with each individual player and hey, what can I do to help, motivate you to be the best you can be? And I think with that kind of answer and that kind of mentality, it was, like I said, it was expected from someone of Belichick's caliber, but also a little bit of surprise in this day and age that there's, that kind of thought, that kind of mentality on it. So to kind of take that idea and take that mentality and try to bring it to the college level, I think that's going to be a real challenge. I think that's going to be really hard for that to translate well. We'll see how if if it works out, if it ends up being that way, we'll see how it works out. My personal opinion is the hire is going to be a really nice splash. People are going to be excited about it. The team's probably going to be a little bit fired up to start with. Recruiting trail will probably be pretty fired up in the first year or two. I'll probably transfer portal will probably light up as well. Probably get a lot of top talent. But once they kind of hit that mentality and hit that kind of thought process and start getting that kind of feedback from other places I've read, like he can be brutal in his honesty and feedback. And if that starts hitting college players, 18, 19-year-old players, you may start to see some quick transfers out. And then the transfer in is probably going to trickle down and come to nothing. The recruiting trail is going to dry back up. And, a couple of years from now, 2 or 3 years from now, you might see that kind of like dry up and dwindle away. And, after some initial like, holy crap, success, you might see this program die out real quick. And Carolina's going to want to move on. But my understanding is he actually has submitted, hey, here are my expectations. Here's what I'm looking for. The university's reviewing it right now. He expects to hear back from him. Depending on what his request demands, you could say, are. If he expects to be in there for 5 years, 10 years, who knows? But it may be a steep price to pay for some instant semi-fame and success, followed by a hard crash. And that's kind of what I foresee is like some instant, like really high success, just followed by a really hard crash. So we'll see how that works out. Steve Wilkes, also another name that's been mentioned for a head coaching position. I think that would be great. I would really like Steve Wilkes. I think he brings the same kind of discipline, the same kind of focus, and kind of a business-like, but also a player's coach type of personality to the team. We saw that at the end of the season that he interim coach for the Panthers, where they were very, very disciplined, very well coached, cleaned up a lot of the mistakes and things that miscues they were going through, but also was a coach that was well loved by his players. And I think that would be a far better hire because you can get, a lot of these younger players on board. He gets their buy-in. He's from Charlotte area. He's been there for a long time. So I think that would be a really good get if UNC end up with Wilkes, even over Belichick, I think. But that's just my opinion on those. But what's next up for Carolina? They're hearing now they will be playing in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl in Boston, Massachusetts against UConn. So home game basically for UConn on December 28th. I'm in Tampa and I would kind of kill to go to that game. Honestly, I'm a Red Sox fan. I've been in North Carolina, not a lot of baseball around us. So kind of shopped around for it. And really, after visiting Boston, really fell in love with the city, fell in love with the team. So to watch the Tar Heels in Fenway, I think would be an amazing opportunity. But I also now have plans to go to the Carolina game the Panthers game in Tampa the following day. That's a hard turnaround to try to pull off. So I think I'm going to forego the Tar Heel game and to check out the Panthers in Tampa. Maybe Panthers have an opportunity there to kind of spoil Tampa's playoff hopes a little bit. We'll see what happens with that. But all right, let's typically I would like kind of skip through the triangle here, talk a little bit about some of our North Carolina teams, but I'm going to try not to completely bury the lead here. I know I started off with the Panthers, but I don't want to completely bury the lead, and I want to get to the biggest news here, and that is the Clemson Tigers with the upset win against SMU in the ACC championship. Hey, great game by them. Really tough. They got out to a great start. 21-0 in the first quarter. I think it was 24-3 through the first half. SMU battled back, fought, got ahead, and then Clemson winning it with the walk-off field goal there at the end. Great game. Great ACC championship. I'm personally very happy. I'm a little bitter as a more traditional ACC fan that, we've got teams like Stanford and SMU in the ACC now. We'll have been pretty upset, coming in first season, SMU coming in first season, taking that ACC championship win. But Clemson held their own, defended our turf, so to speak. And they will now, because of their efforts, end up as the number 12 seed in the college football playoff. Their first game for that will be against Texas on the 21st in Texas. So that's going to be a tough matchup. We'll see if Clemson can keep the magic going. I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty tough. Texas almost took the SEC their first year in, but I think Georgia was able to hold them off there. So we'll see how this goes for Clemson. If they can continue their streak, or keep this kind of magic alive and be able to go into Texas, get an upset win there as well, and continue on in the college football playoff. I don't have very high hopes for them winning the whole thing, but who knows? Maybe they could, but we'll see how that works out. All right, folks. Let's kind of keep it moving along here a little bit. We're turn it over. Like I said, let's get back into do a quick rundown on our North Carolina teams here, looking at their bowl matchups and what they've got going on. We have Duke up first. Yep, there we go. Duke up first. They are bowl announced as well. We talked about this with 9-3. Probably we're going to get, definitely post Christmas, late bowl season game, probably even a New Year's game. I think pretty nice one here. The Gator Bowl versus the Ole Miss Rebels. They're ranked number 14 now at the end of things. So, Ole Miss at one point very much in the conversation for a football playoff. So this is a real good challenge here for Duke. I think it'll be a really tough game, and we'll see how this goes on. But for me, as much as I dislike the team, as an ACC fan, you gotta love this opportunity for them to get out there, kind of get the ACC name in front of some people who probably dismiss ACC football. Hopefully, they play really well. They can kind of take it, hang in there, stick with the Rebels. Who, like I said, at one point were in pretty strong consideration for the college football playoff, just missing out. Like I said, they're 14th. So if you want to call it, one of the first two out of the playoff picture, but now playing in the Gator Bowl against Duke, it's all publicity. It's all good stuff there for the ACC and getting our name out there in front. And because that helps draw recruits, and not just to Duke, but to the rest of the ACC. It lets them know that we're not just a basketball conference or anything like that, but we do have some pretty strong football teams. You can play in some very significant and meaningful postseason bowl games if you come to the ACC. All right, we'll keep it moving along. Here, next up, looking at North Carolina State and our brothers just down the street. They also, thanks to their win over North Carolina in the final game of the season, will be bowling. They will be going also on the 28th. These guys against the East Carolina Pirates. Sorry, stumbled on that. East Carolina ECU, East Carolina University, the Pirates, and on 12/28 in the Gold Bowling Military Bowl. That's interesting bowl name to be short, but hey, this could be a real good challenge, real good matchup between these two schools. It's a school, ECU, that I should probably hit on and talk a lot more about, but if you've tuned in any of the last few times, that I have some time management issues when it comes to this. I'm still working on that. Trying not to speed up too fast with my talking, but also keep the pace going enough that we can cover teams meaningfully, but cover as many as possible. Unfortunately, ECU has been one of those teams that I have not been able to figure out how to work into the lineup. So this obviously will definitely give me an opportunity to do that. And then going forward, I'll be able to kind of cover down on them a little bit better and get their names out there more often. So, and kind of leaving the state because unfortunately for them, our guys up the road in Winston-Salem, Duke Blue Devils are not going to be going bowling here anytime soon. I had, like we mentioned last time, really tough season. Closed it out 4-8, so not bowl eligible for the Demon. No bowl eligibility for the Demon Deacons there. But we did get South Carolina set up with their bowl. There is hope that maybe they would have the opportunity to find themselves in the playoff as well. They have rattled off, I think, what was it? Something like 6 straight wins, including being Clemson, who is now going into the college football playoff, beat Clemson in that season finale. But with 3 losses, I think one of which was to Old Dominion. I don't know how to go back and look. But they didn't make the committee criteria. And so they will be playing in the Citrus Bowl against Illinois on New Year's Eve. Great opportunity there. Hopefully they'll kind of fall into that trap that some teams do. I think when they find out they don't make the bowl that they want, especially if they were aiming for the college football playoff and they don't get it and they feel kind of cheated, and so some of their better players sit out. I mean, I get it, especially for guys who are looking to make it, become professional players. You want to take care of yourself. You want to make sure you're healthy. You're not putting yourself in any unnecessary risk. But at the same time, I like to see that competitive nature. I like to see that fight. That, like, look, if you give me a game, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to pound away. I don't care who it's against. I don't care, what the title, what the game is. I'm out there to compete and show that I'm there to beat the person on the other side. So hopefully we see a lot of folks come out for this game. Like I said before, they've got a really great quarterback, young freshman who's been coming on strong throughout the season. They've got a really great defensive end, also a freshman who's been playing well this season. So looking forward to see what they can do on New Year's Eve against Illinois. All right, folks, that kind of will wrap it up for my rundown on the college football. With that, I am going to move us over into a little bit of college basketball. We are definitely in the season for it now. Our teams have opened up ACC play pretty well, I might add. But before we get to all of that, we'll do a couple more quick rundowns for some of our other network or some of our other shows.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Calise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate, diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold and have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Calise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
All right, y'all, welcome back. Those sound like some great shows there. All let's whine about sports, man. That sounds like a great time. I like to kick back, relax with a glass every now and then. So make sure you check those guys out on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all the sports. All right, let's kind of wrap this up here. Talk a little college basketball for the last few minutes of the episode. So UNC not playing like UNC. Got the jersey on today. I think I'm going to have to start wearing this jersey more. I first broke out this jersey, started wearing it when Coach Davis took the team on that incredible run at the end of his first year. Knocked out Duke in Coach K's last home game, and then took them out in the Final Four as well on their way to their eventual loss to Kansas, unfortunately. But I've always felt like it's brought some good luck to the team. So I think I'm going to have to start break it back out, start wearing it now. Hate to have to wear it to try to get the good luck magic mojo going this early in the season, but it looks like that's going to have to be the case. So let's kick it off. So ACC SEC challenge did not go great for any of our teams, really, except for one SEC team and one other South Carolina team. UNC losing their rematch against Alabama. Alabama pretty much handling them from the get-go. UNC dropping that game by 15 points. Just really not what you expect, not what you wanted to see. Not what I was expecting, to be perfectly honest. No, they had those two tough losses before to Auburn and then to Michigan State. I kind of hope to see them take that personally, regroup, get back into it, use a little bit of motivation carried over from last year, from the tournament at the end of last year, and try to take it to Alabama, and just didn't see it happen. And it's really unfortunate. I kind of mentioned it the last couple episodes. I think the struggle here for UNC is, the big men down low, real heavy reliance on guard play, which we haven't seen from a Hubert team, but definitely, the Roy Williams and Dean Smith teams of the past, where you have some pretty strong post presence. We haven't seen that come out yet. I'm not saying that it won't come out. I don't think it's going to be that way all season. I think we got a couple of young guys down there who can, if they listen to the coach, kind of do what he says, incorporate it, and Coach May is on there. I think they have the potential, and they've got the ability there to develop some post presence, but they're going to have to learn quick. ACC play is here. It's not going to get any easier from here. I saw the score for the Georgia Tech game come across my phone. I think it was pretty late, so I didn't get to watch the full thing. But initially, I didn't have my glasses on at the time. Thought it said 88-65. I was like, all right, that's great. That's, kind of back to where we want Carolina to be. And then went back and looked again, started digging into a little more. 68-65. Not the game you wanted to see. UNC going up against Georgia Tech. So hopefully, like I said, get the jersey going, get some mojo going, and hopefully we can see them start pulling off some more what we would expect, what Carolina fans, faithful, have come to expect to see from Carolina for that. Duke, on the other hand, they have been doing pretty well. They had a good game. They were able to hold up their end of the bargain, hold up their end of the deal. They're against Auburn in the SEC Challenge. They beat Auburn 84-78. So they get a W for the ACC in that. Took down the Auburn team that UNC wasn't able to take down. So really showing their ability there. And then like UNC, opening up ACC play with a pretty convincing win over Louisville. And just a Cooper Flag kid out of Maine, just playing incredible, playing well. And I think, Duke's going to continue to do what Duke does, recruit, the top, one or two top 5 players every year, keep them around for a season or two, kind of dominate early. And then, we'll see if they can hold it out through the end of the season, see how it goes, come February, March, if UNC can get themselves into form and ready to go against this team, and be able to challenge Duke at the top of the ACC, because I think Duke's going to be sitting up there at the top for quite a while, and hopefully Carolina, for me, can get their stuff together and get around and be able to challenge Duke down the stretch. Their next game will be against the Incarnate Word. That's going on tonight, actually. So if you're not watching me, hopefully you're watching them, and check out the Blue Devils as they, take on the Incarnate Word. Should be, by all intents, a pretty good game for them. Not too much of a challenge, ability to gain a good win and keep moving on with their lives. So NC State also kicking things off well with ACC play. Not so much with the SEC Challenge. They lost to Texas 63-59. Pretty close game, though. Played them hard. Texas is always, I feel like, a very strong team, especially preseason team. But I know UNC usually has had troubles with them in the past. So good to see NC State out there taking it to Texas, playing them hard. But unfortunately, like a lot of the other ACC teams, not able to get the win against the SEC. They did, however, open up their ACC play with a win, 84-74. Sorry, again, another terrible edit job on my part. But being Florida State in their ACC opener. So great job for NC State there to open up play, representing the Carolina as well, representing the Triangle. Their next game, kind of like North Carolina with LaSalle and Duke with Incarnate Word, will be against Coppin State. So another good opportunity for them. That's tonight. And hey, thanks, Larry, for getting better. I'm out here trying, man. Hopefully a little bit better each and every time. And we'll see how it goes next week too. Grow every time, right? 10% better every day. So same thing for Wolfpack. 10% better every day. Taking on Coppin State here tonight. Hopefully they will get that W and keep their win streak alive and well. All right, next we got Wake Forest out here. Again, another team that struggled against their SEC opponent. Sorry, lost my. That can't be right. Oh, yeah, sorry, I just misread that. Sorry, guys. Man, Larry, you got me like all confident and like feeling good about myself, and then I just turned in a complete dud. Demon Deacons, Wake Forest out here. Hard game against Texas A&M, low scoring game, really tough defensive game there. Guys battling out on the hardwood. Unfortunately, not able to pull off that win, but lose to Texas, 13-point game there. But representing North Carolina like you do, beating Boston College 72-66, also opening up their ACC play with a W. So we got a lot of Carolina teams right there at the top of the ACC, 1-0, keeping it strong, holding it down. Everybody to the north and south taking the L to start off their league play. So really excited for them for going with that. All right. So last for our ACC teams, we're talking about Clemson here. Clemson, the only Carolina brand here that got their stuff together, let's say, in the SEC Challenge. They take down Kentucky Wildcats 70-66. Great win for them. They've been playing strong kind of through this early season the entire way, doing a great job, and really paid off for them, playing hard, taking down Kentucky there to kind of keep hopes alive in the SEC Challenge, and then turned around and followed that up with a convincing 10-point win against Miami. Like I said, north and south of the Carolinas can't hang in basketball, and I think North Carolina now dominates the top of the ACC in basketball for one more week. Their next opponent is Memphis. They'll be playing them this Saturday, same time Carolina plays. So if you're not, not representing the Carolina Blue, then maybe check out Clemson and their game against Memphis. That should be a pretty interesting game. Memphis usually plays pretty tough. So, all right. Last but not least, let's get into our final team here as we wrap this up, go over time as I do, and talk a little bit about some SEC basketball and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Again, team that fared well in the ACC Challenge, SEC taking that challenge, and University of South Carolina defeating Boston College 73-51. Unfortunately, ACC not able to hang with them. But for the Carolina folks, Carolina people in the audience, that's a great win for the states here, and keeps things going. Then they follow that up with a game against ECU, who they beat 75-68. So South Carolina continues to roll a lot of heart and really like toughness developing with that team. You go and you look at the post-game interview, listen to post-game interviews, talking to the players there. These games haven't come easy for them, but they've battled through them. They really like turn to each other and like continue to push each other to be better throughout the game and in each subsequent game. And so I think you're kind of really seeing the payoff of that hard work there. And with South Carolina getting back-to-back wins, their next game, kind of their last game before really kicking it off with some SEC play, some tough play, will be against South Carolina Upstate. Let's hope South Carolina, the real South Carolina, gets the W there, and are able to enter their conference play on a 3-game win streak. All right, folks, I think that's going to finally wrap it up for me. As always, a ton of stuff to talk about, even when there wasn't a ton of stuff to talk about. I didn't even have college football games to cover, and still out here running over time 5 minutes late. But, that's all right. I enjoy this. I'm getting into this. This is episode number 4. We're up to 100 viewers right now. That freaks me out a little bit when I see it, but I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited to see the retweets and get in the chat. See the chats coming across now. I managed to start incorporating chat and responding to folks there in our chat group. This IE Sports team, great bunch of folks. Always talking sports, which is awesome. You're like, sometimes I just love to sit back and listen, so to speak. I'll read and see their opinions, get to learn a lot more about other sports towns and regions, other teams that, I just don't have that kind of insight into it. And they're just feeding me every day. It's amazing to just like watch and listen and learn from all these guys here. It's been a great experience getting into this and getting involved. So thank you guys for tuning in, for listening to me go off for an hour about the Carolinas. I love the Carolinas. I can't wait to get back there. I will be back up there in a couple of weeks to celebrate Christmas with the fam. So I may not see you over to Christmas week, but believe me, I'll be thinking about you guys, thinking about our teams, and checking them out on as they play. With that, I will see you guys in the next one. Y'all have a good one.